Welcome to the garden at A Wilderness Calling. It's been a long time. We've had a busy summer and I've been meaning to make a video again, but as you know, life on the homestead and off the homestead is busy. So I just thought today's the day. So what am I doing here? I'm breaking ground for a garlic nursery. We are going to start growing our garlic from seed. I'll show you a little sample here. These are garlic seeds. They're very tiny. They look just like little garlic cloves. And if you've ever grown garlic, you know that when the garlic comes up in the summer, it develops a long stalk that curls on the end, and that's called a scape. And scapes are so yummy. We made scape seasoning this year and we use scapes in a lot of recipes. But if you leave your scapes, they will develop kind of a little flower head on them. And if you let them develop and dry out, you get these little tiny garlic cloves, and you can grow your garlic from these. So we're gonna have these are some of our garlics we grew, the purple Russian ones. I'm gonna plant these somewhere else in the garden, but just back here I'm gonna have a little nursery. I'm just breaking ground right now. This has never been planted back here, so it's a lot of work. But what we're gonna do is once we make this patch all nice and ready, we'll just take these little tiny garlic seeds, we'll sprinkle them in, and we'll cover them up with a little dirt, and then we'll take some of this really nice wood chips here. We're doing the back to Eden gardening method, so wood chips are good to hold a little bit of moisture and to keep the weeds down. So I'll sprinkle a little bit, not too much, but we'll sprinkle some over the seeds, and next year they will come up like blades of grass. So this takes time. This method isn't an instant success. It takes a few years, but it's a way that you can grow a ton of garlic without buying garlic heads, seed garlic. So it's a new thing we're gonna try. And a friend of mine here at the Tamid community gave me a whole bunch of scapes from her garden, and so we're gonna try this. So we're ready to do our little planting here. I've already planted some of them, but I have a few more to do, and I thought I'd bring you along to show you how we're doing it. So I have these little tiny seeds. We call them seeds, but really they're called bulbils is what they're actually called. And I'm just gonna sprinkle them right in the row and hopefully get a nice close-up view of them. So sprinkle them in here, and you know, you can kind of space them out, but you can just kind of plant them close together. They come up like blades of grass, and it takes about 2 or 3 weeks after the regular garlic comes up for these to come up. So if you do this and you're like, where are they? It takes a little longer for them to come up. And then we'll just put my gloves on here and we'll just cover these up, and then I'll be doing wood chips on top. Not a really big layer of wood chips because garlic doesn't like to be soaked in moisture, and if I put too much on, they won't like that next season. So a little bit of wood chips, and that's about it. So there's a few things to remember. If you're planting garlic more than, if you're planting it every year, you definitely don't want to plant it in the same place every time. Apparently it's more chance for diseases to hit your crop. So next year I'll probably plant these somewhere else in the garden. So what's going to happen is they'll come up in the spring. They'll look like blades of grass, so have to be really careful when we weed them. And then later in the season, when the tops start to get kind of brownish, we will pull them just like we pull regular garlic. And then in the fall we will replant them again in a different place. And so it's a little intensive to do it this way, but I just wanted to see if I could multiply my harvest this way. So thanks for joining me in the garden today. If you have any tips on growing garlic from bulbils, please leave us a comment, or any tips about garlic growing at all. We're trying to expand our crops so that we can have lots of lovely garlic every year. And as we live in these unprecedented times, may you be inspired to grow for yourself and to be able to survive as things are getting tough. We'll see you next time on A Wilderness Calling.